welcome. We are back. It's been a nice little vacation for us, I guess, but we've been busy doing other things. So it's good to be back. Happy Monday. Happy new month. Happy new everything, right? So
Oh my
hopefully
God.
all the pain can be put behind us, right?
Yep. February, the shortest and most painful month, is behind us now, and we're into my birthday month, March. March is 22nd is my birthday.
Oh, nice. Very
So
good.
yeah. And a year ago, I was predicting that the Tesla was going to put in its low about 137, 143, yeah, 143.69. But it missed by it was a month later and about $5 lower. So that was my claim to fame here on X as a financial charter technical analyst.
It's
And
how
now we're doing
history
this.
was
It's
written.
how it's how we met. Yeah, it's how I met Kat and how I met Matt. So here we are a year later, and we're doing different stuff, but the same stuff.
Yeah, same stuff and just a bigger audience. That's all.
Oh my God, such a bigger audience. All right. Oh, I see the requests
All right.
coming in already, but go ahead, Matt. Yeah, do your thing.
Ye- Yeah, let's see some indices. So, how did the SPY open up or close on Friday? Well, it closed right around the conversion line, so that's okay, right? It did even wick down to the support of the 585 again, and it held. So, people that are panicking, things are going to collapse. This is not the way things really collapse because support is still holding nicely. And now, if things ever lost this 585 and then flipped it to resistance, then perhaps it would go lower. But in the meantime, support is holding well, so we're just going to go take it one day, 1 week at a time, and just try to see if price can actually stay above this conversion line now, which is 594.29. And now we have the QQQ here, and this one did close below that conversion line, but it also held the 497 right here, the support, which was a previous resistance, flipped to support. So that is also holding a perfect fib level that I like to see, 497.46. So that is the main focus for the Qs. And the IWM did finally touch the cloud last week for the very first time. It did break out back in November of 2023. So basically almost a year and a half, and it finally touched it. So that's a great thing, great development. And let's see if it can actually reclaim this 50-week moving average and the 702 around 216 this week. And if so, I think it has the potential to recover. But the most important thing is just maintaining this cloud as support at the moment. And let's see if it can, in fact, climb its way out of this cloud and get a lot more bullish in the months to come. All right. With that said, I can jump into Tesla here just
Woohoo.
because I know people were talking about it. And one thing I wanted to point out is Tesla actually looks like it's going to open up a weekly candle above this 295. I did make a video yesterday about the Tesla and Palantir weekly update, and this I said this 295 needs to get reclaimed. Otherwise, there's a risk of going back down to the 50-week moving average for the first time to touch it. And right now, it looks like it's going to open up above that. So 295, that's going to be the focus for the whole week. Just try to stay above that, maybe try to build a base on top of it, and then get to the 320s and the 340s and beyond. So one number I'm focused on, 295.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I just feel like Bitcoin and Tesla like to move together. I don't know if it's because of the same kind of uh, you know buyers that are interested in it or
Yeah.
something, but they seem to move together a lot. So with Bitcoin having the big recovery yesterday, it seems like Tesla's going to have a big recovery as well. Am I
Well,
mind?
Tesla has been way more volatile than Bitcoin, which is kind of weird, right? It's more
Yeah,
volatile than a crypto, but
yeah,
it has been. It like Bitcoin only went down like I don't know, at 30% or something, and Bitcoin or Tesla went down over 40%. So
yeah.
that was a big decline for Tesla, but it's still a bullish chart, right? You can't deny that it is basically a higher low from before. So a massive higher high and a massive lower higher low. So therefore, and it's also just back testing previous resistance zones still. So we can't be too bearish on it, even though people think it's over. So with that said, Tracker.
Yeah, when I see something like this, it just looks like a really giant 1-2. So let's see which one of these right here. This chart here, um, you are here, right here, and it just looks like after my wave start from the annals of history in Tesla when it was like 1180 adjusted for splits, and then that 41450 high was the wave one, and the 101 after when Elon was selling Tesla to buy Twitter. There's your two. And then so basically, I had this as a small degree 1-2, but now it just looks like an A B, and this looks like your 1-2. So going into the wave three, it looks like this wave three is awfully short. See, this is why sometimes it just feels more like an ABC up. But anyway, it's if this was 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 is lower than the wave one, so it becomes a diagonal. I don't really want to have to count that. Let's just see if this counts as a 1-2, and then all of 3 could be up here. And sorry, I've got the things overlapping each other. But up here about 650, 654 for a wave 3. Wave 4, if it does the same thing where like this wave 2 kind of came around what wave A was, this wave 4 could come really close to where a wave 1 topped out at. Anyway, that would be like a test of 500 for sentiment before to 1,000, and this at the end of this wave 5, as I've got it drawn right now. A repeat of this fractal where back here in 2021 to 2022 went A, B, C, and the C was this huge move up. That would be the A, B, C, this huge move up, which is still that standing prediction I've got for July of this year, 711.77. It looks like it's a lot harder to get to now. And in fact, I kind of moved this line from July this way to kind of bisect this 1-2 action right here. So it kind of looks more like now the end of the year for 711.77, unless it just does something completely bonkers between now and July. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Yep. I sent this out, and it's not that I'm saying that I don't think that I think it's going to be 2027 before it reaches 1,000, because it really could go bonkers. Like I draw these so that the numbers easier or see the difference between the waves, but I mean it really could be like this. Um, so it could be a lot faster than what's drawn here. That's all I got to say about Tesla. I'm still very bullish on it. And this big move down like that just tells me it's ready to shook out all the liquidity, and now it's ready to just run up and FOMO into a new higher high. Its previous higher, our highest high so far is at 488.54, and I'm looking for a new higher high next.
Very good. All right, I will do. I have Nvidia here ready on deck, and with Nvidia, I think I see it something like kind of just trading sideways for a while, maybe even down a little bit, because it doesn't seem like it wants to get any kind of momentum back, and it even closed the week below the baseline and the conversion line, but it did hold the 50-week moving average and the green level of the GAN. But honestly, it's looking kind of like it just rounding off a little bit and just losing some momentum. So I'm not too keen on Nvidia at the moment, simply because it just looks like something that could just do nothing for some time, and perhaps it does want to touch the cloud, because it still has not even touched the cloud at all since it broke out in 2023 of March. That's basically 2 years. So in 2 years, it has never touched the cloud once. So I'm kind of anticipating that at this moment. So with that said, just a little bit of caution, I think, because perhaps it does want to go back down to touch the cloud, whether that's at 109, whether that's at like 115, 116, or 120. I just think that it might just want to go sideways for a little bit or down before trying to continue higher. And if it ever starts to go inside the cloud, then I think at that point, if the top of the cloud could become a resistance, and then price could gravitate much lower. So a little bit caution here until it really touches the cloud. So until that moment happens, I'm just going to be neutral on Nvidia.
Yeah, let me just point out the last time that Matt said it looked like Tesla might be losing momentum. That was early in February, and you saw what happened after that. So
yeah,
do be careful when he says
well,
it looks like it might be losing momentum.
And look at this too.
I didn't hear that as clearly earlier.
And look at this too, right here. The baseline. You can see only once, twice before has it closed below the baseline and it recovered. So is third time a charm where it's the real deal and it wants to go lower? I don't know. Like it's been maintaining that baseline forever and ever and ever. So it's kind of a warning sign, right? Closing below that baseline there for Nvidia, something that has been a powerhouse. So what it's got going for it still is the 50-week moving average and the cloud, but losing that short-term momentum and being kind of down pre-market just is like a warning sign that I don't know if it's going to do anything anytime soon, right? So we just got to be patient, give it some weeks, give it some months, let it play out, and I don't think there's any rush, really. I don't think there's a rush to buy.
Yeah. Yeah, Larry Williams has me believing that the semiconductors are going to have to wait for a little bit for Bitcoin and Tesla to shine, and then after Bitcoin and Tesla have their big moment, then the semiconductor will rotate back in, along with energy stocks again.
Well, I mean, AMD still kind of looks pretty good.
AMD's an outlier because it already went all the way down.
Yeah, it already collapsed, so it can't collapse any further.
It already collapsed. That's right. Now, I saw your video that you did for your Patreon talking about SMH Vanek semiconductors and how it just looks like it also kind of wants to stall out for a little bit.
I can show the public here just what I saw with SMH. Actually, it's better to show on this chart, I think, because look what happened to it. It closed a bearish engulfing weekly candle below the 1.618, below the 50-week, below the baseline, below the conversion line, below the cloud, below everything. Right, we haven't seen a bearish engulfing candle close below everything in a long time for SMH. So what does that really imply? Well, every time it probably comes back up to like the 240s up here, it could just roll over and drift lower now back down to the 1.414208. So SMH, I do not like that candle. I don't like how it just sliced through all that support with one bearish engulfing candle. So yeah, a little bit of caution is warranted with SMH.
All right. Well, I've got Hood on deck. We'll just kind of. All right, Robinhood, you're in luck. I just redrew this chart yesterday. Basically, after it topped out here, almost 300% fib extension from my earlier 1-2. It really ran, and then did an ABC down. And from this bottom, I'm calling this a brand new wave 1-2. So from the $6.81 low all the way up to the recent high of 66.98 and down to 44.02. I'm sorry, is that the right price? Anyway, 66 something. Back to 44.02. So now it's ready for all new waves up. I think Robinhood could really do well here this year. So look for my next wave one target. My wave 1 of 3 target is 81.16 back to 58.20. All of wave 3 finishes out at $118. Wave 4 comes back to 89.94, and then wave 5 tops out at $178.40, or 253% higher from where prices right now today. Or I'm sorry, where it closed on Friday. This is my bullish Robinhood.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to jump on Intel, INTC. So it's getting back up towards this 50-week moving average where it already got rejected massively the week before last. And that is basically where price is gravitating towards this morning. So 26.24 is that resistance. And the closer it gets, the closer it gets there, then the less I like it, really. the opportunity, the risk reward was in your favor really at this green level down here, just because it was building a solid foundation that it has been building ever since decades ago, really, right? That was the risk reward occasion right there. And now is not really the time, because it's getting closer and closer to this downward sloping 50-week moving average. But the positive is you kind of have a range now, right? You have the conversion line baseline right there around $23. So that's your support, your resistance around $26. And not only is it the 50-week, but it's also a previous high set back in November of 2024. So not really sure if it's going to break through that, but it is getting closer to that resistance. So caution is warranted. But if people were interested, perhaps this conversion baseline could be your support, the potential to start to form a new higher low up here around the 23s for the potential to go higher. So it's not completely dead, but it's not really bullish yet either. So this is just also a patience game. And not only that, when you go just draw a line right up here where pre-market price is right here, you can see what that is, right? That's a previous support flipping to resistance, right? So this is also another warning sign that, hey, it might get rejected up here, guys. So just don't get all excited by the pre-market action. It's just gapping up at resistance exactly.
Yeah. My Intel chart just shows that there's a huge sell order block that starts right at $26.08, which is the 23.6% fib retracement going back to its previous high of $50.60. Why does that look like it's off a little bit? Anyway, 236,382. So, but if price whenever price does finally get over 2608, then look for it to go to 3077, back to 2608, and then up to 3834 for an ABC retrace. I tried to do a 5 waves in here, and it kind of got crazy and fell apart. So I can just delete that. It holds up. Rocket Lab.
Yeah, go ahead with Rocket Lab if you got it.
I did redraw my Rocket Lab yesterday too. I did a few charts this weekend to try to catch up with some of the new lower lows. This one did make a slightly lower low. So I'm basically calling this is 5 waves done on the left side, and A, B, C on the right side. So all of this is now a new larger degree wave 1, wave 2. And so Rocket Lab has even new higher targets. And I don't know, just take a screenshot if you want. There it is, 2720 next. You can see there's a sell wall kind of waiting for up there. Back to 2295. Kind of looks like maybe the sell wall says it could go to the 618. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should push this up here to 3408. Anyway, yeah, market makers are expecting it to go into this zone. Back to 2295, 52, 38, 81. So that's overall from where price closed on Friday. It's 298% higher if it makes all 5 waves. Just to the oh, come on. Sorry. Oops. Sorry, I was going to try to give you like this number here. Just from where price closed on Friday to this wave 1 top would be 63%. Even just to this 382 is 31%. So some pretty good upside for Rocket Lab.
Yeah, I got a Rocket Lab.
I see it's at 2130 here. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a Rocket Lab chart. So here's my Rocket Lab. Actually, it is trying to get back above this previous high. I'm really focused on this previous high back in September of 2021. And that's 2134. And it is kind of right underneath it there. But it did hold the baseline. So I think it does have potential to just eventually go higher. But in the meantime, I think there is some resistance in this zone with the arc as well. Was a support right here. Now it's kind of a resistance. So perhaps I think it might just need a little bit more time to get closer to the weekly cloud before going higher. But yeah, whenever that's finished consolidating, I think it'll be ready to make its next leg higher. It is just kind of extended from all this down here. So I think it just needs a little bit of time to possibly cool off after 2 weeks of red. So once it gets back above this arc, then I'll be a lot more bullish. And currently that arc is right around 22.75. So that is my focus right now, just getting back above this bottom arc here for the potential to go to the 29s and 30s once again. So slowly but surely, I think it can do it. But it might get rejected here in the meantime. So I'm a little bit cautious.
Just a side note, not a chart, but Intuitive Machines Lunar does have some of their technology is going to the moon right now. They've got a mission to land on the moon again and do some surveying there. Let's see.
Very, very cool. RX, I have that one on my list right here. And what I want to show with RX, it is down to 778. And you can see when we zoom in here, actually it's up 778, right? It closed at 751. But yeah, it looks like it's going to open back up above this 50-week moving average, which is a positive thing, right? That bearish engulfing weekly candle down that closed below it was a little bit concerning, but pre-market might recover that, and that kind of means that perhaps in the weeks to come, I think it might even get inside the cloud and stay there and build a base to go higher. So RX, all it did is hit the 200-week moving average, got rejected massively, and the top of the cloud. And so there we go, a big up to a big correction and a nice back test. So let's focus on holding that 764 for kind of building a base to go higher. So I think if it gets in that cloud, then I think it finally can gain some momentum and get more bullish. So yeah, RX, it looks like the lows are in right here, and it's just making a higher high and a higher low currently in preparation to become a little bit more and more bullish. In tracker.
Yeah. I've got Kalidi Biotherapeutics here for Dan. This one, I'm looking for an ABC retrace to this prior high of $3.88. And so from this low of 57, almost 58 cents, it did go almost right up to the 382, but then it lost the 236, it drew the bow back to 11.4 and a little bit below that. So I think when it releases this, it's going to jump up instead of the 618, this 786, which is kind of confluent with this wick right up there. 18x for Kalidi, then like an ABC retrace, so then it builds back bigger and higher. And if you pull back kind of a larger degree, if we try to go back to just this previous high, then the ABC takes it to 1060, and you get this larger degree, 677, 440, 1060. But one crime at a time, we have to beat this previous $3.88 boss first. $3.18 next, a little consolidation, and then break higher. That's Kalidi, and they asked for Bullfrog as well. So both Kalidi and Bullfrog did make a slightly new lower low than I was looking for. Let's see, it didn't take out the previous low, so overall, let's see, if I just go to the weekly chart for Bullfrog, I don't have a 5 waves up here anymore, but it really wouldn't have changed the 5 waves up from, right now I'm just looking for this ABC race right now, hopefully to 753. So we'll see how that shakes out. Right now it's just 50%, B 11%, C, let's see if we can get 88.2%. The market makers seem ready to sell off at the 76.4. Perhaps I should just attune with them a little bit to 672 instead. I don't have a smaller chart for this yet, but I'll have one. As soon as it makes a higher low, I could do a 5 waves up. Right now, this is what we got.
All right.
Is Dan taking care of?
I got some.
Thanks, Low Gains.
I got some ELF.
Oh yeah, ELF
I got
Beauty.
some ELF here. So ELF Beauty. So after breaking below the 200-week moving average and the 1.618 fib extension, it did find support with this angle right here. And if we go in the past, you can see right here that that angle was also a liquidity grab and a support back there. So kind of the same situation here. So I'm just watching that to hold as support. Now that is this week right around current price, right around 70.45 maybe. So if it ever starts to try to flip that to a resistance, then we got to look out below to the 62s or even the blue level for a back test of the first time, because since it broke out back in January of 2023, a whole 2 years, it still has never back tested that level at 57. So we do got to pay attention to these levels that have never been back tested yet. So a couple of things, just watching that angle. If it can ever build a base on top and get back above this $86 zone, then I'll be a lot more bullish on it. But until then, what I can really see happening is it can possibly even go back up there, get rejected a few times, and then maybe go lower, right? So do got to be a little bit cautious of this 200 week and the 1.618, because that could be a pretty serious resistance zone. So that is my main focus right now, is holding this angle and getting above the 1.618. And if it can't do either of those, then I think it's going to drift lower once again. So ELF has to maintain this current trajectory or else.
Yeah, you got to I really watched like the slope of those moving averages. That 50 starting to curl down pretty hard into the 100
right here as well.
So yeah, looks like it could go sideways for a while.
But
exactly as you said, I could see.
Yeah, I really can see this zone getting hit because there's a lot of confluence right down here. Like you can see right here in the past, it was a previous resistance before breakout. So retesting that zone makes it a lot of sense to me. So with this one, it's a big breakdown, right? It lost structure. It made a lower low from both of these lows, right? It made a lower low. So whenever that happens, you got to be a lot more cautious, because market structure is now more bearish than it was when it was up here. So with that said, Tracker.
Well, I've got DXYZ on deck because, as Dan said, we do have another super heavy launch today. So let's see. It's basically this. How could it be the same? I must have updated this chart last week for this weekend. If we get 5 waves up, 3489 is now my wave 2 bottom. And so if it went 618236 like it did in the past here, then 6619 is next, 4697, 7359, and then 14814, which would give us, if it gets all the way to the wave 5 top from where price closed on Friday, that's 262% higher. So I still am a big fan of DXYZ. Yep. Even though this was a lower pullback. It topped out in 5 waves earlier than I thought it would, or at least after it topped out. I was hoping this was going to hold as my wave 2. All right, that is my DXYZ for now.
Very good. All right, I'm going to jump on a couple of cryptos that I see here. FTM and Telcoin. So yeah, we did a Telcoin update before. So with FTM first, a couple of things that it is getting back to a major support zone, right? We got the 618 right here, the 0.6792, and you got the 50-week moving average. You got the top of the cloud. You got the conversion line. So it was a breakout, big rejection at the 786, and the baseline came back down to retest support. So it does look like it has potential to now maybe consolidate, maybe build a base on this zone here for the chance to get out of the cloud and go higher. So yeah, FTM, Sonic, whatever you want to call it, it is looking more and more better. So with that said, we'll do Telcoin here. Okay. And Telcoin, yeah, this one got rejected at the 618. After flipping this 50% from a resistance to a support, almost went down to back test it. Not quite, so that kind of still leaves it on the table as a possibility to go back test around the 007. So we will pay attention to that. But in the meantime, let's focus on the conversion line there at the 00848, and it already did flip this blue arc to a support. So I think it is getting more and more bullish, and the possibility to gravitate to the 45 and the 786 up here does exist. So let's focus on breaking this 618 right here, the 0.012. And once that happens, I think it'll get more bullish. But yeah, it's a bullish development. Telcoin looks good. And whether or not it needs to back test a little bit lower first before going higher, that's undecided. But I think it can gravitate over time to the 2.5 cent zone.
Very cool. Hey, can I ask for your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Yeah, Bitcoin.
We didn't really do that one today.
Yeah, I got a couple
Yeah.
thoughts here on Bitcoin. So what I saw was a perfect liquidity grab on my weekly chart here, down past the baseline, past the 45-degree angle here, and it held weekly support where it has been for months above this 91,158. So Bitcoin looks fine, right? No change at all since it broke out, really. It's just a huge liquidity grab. It even closed above the conversion line, even opened a new candle above the conversion line, and we already went down to backtest the 91 again, and it held. So does this look like a good potential for a setup that could just bounce and continue towards the resistance at the 102? I think so. But the only thing I'm really watching is this 4-hour chart, and the 4-hour chart is back at resistance, and we can see that clearly right here. That my 4-hour chart that I show on my Telegram, my Patreon tier 4, it was a resistance back in December. It was the top arc was a resistance, and then ever since it broke below back in February 4th, it was the bottom of this arc was a resistance, 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 and it still is. So that's the only thing I'm paying attention to, but it's kind of running out of time, right? You can see that the blue level, it's also a resistance. That was a previous support too. So it is running out of time. So by that means, maybe just a few more 4-hour candles underneath here, perhaps, and then maybe go up or retest lower levels, right? That's basically it. There's really no in between there because
It's getting it's getting the
yeah, it's getting the
squeeze.
squeeze, but there's no in between, guys. So it's at a point where it has to break this resistance, or else it's going to go retest lows. And the lows it would retest would be the 86,000 again down here, 85, 86,000. So we got to really, really, really break this in the next couple days, right? The next couple days, it's really got to shoot above. So let's see.
Yeah. I got my new MicroStrategy chart drawn up in celebration of the Bitcoin recovery, and I think what if even like in pre-market we're up to $292.10 right now on MicroStrategy. So it's almost up to the green Ichimoku right here, bottom of the street green Ichimoku cloud uh, on the weekly chart. So yeah, after this that all-time high of 548 or 548.20, it was a pre-market high. Down to this new lower low of or it's a higher low, 225. This is 1-2. My wave 3 goes up to 760 now, 759.82. What does it say? Oh, I boggled it. 759.82. And yeah, but first, my wave 1 top is wave 1 of 3 is 429.30, and you can see the market have us already ready to catch that and push it back down to this cloud. So which would be 351, then a 3, 4, and then all wave 3, 5 of 3, 759. So this is what I'm looking for MicroStrategy, and if it gets all 5 waves from where price closed on Friday, that's 402% higher. So, and I'm in MSTX, which is like double that. So hopefully, let's see if I redo this one yet. This one's a little bit different. Don't worry about this one. This is like a longer degree chart that goes like 2,000% up. It's kind of nutty. All right.
Very good.
And then Coinbase, you can see on the weekly chart.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was.
I would say Coinbase came right to my moving average 75. Yeah. Go ahead. Do what you want.
No, go ahead and show your coin first.
That's pretty much it. So I redrew my 1, 2. So my overall 1, 2 would never change for coin. This is just your wave 3, sub 1, sub 2. All of 3 should take us to $501 still, back to 403, and then top out, if it follows my 5 waves up, to $757.82, or 161% higher from, no, we're down here now. 253% higher from where it closed on Friday. that's it. It just did the weekly wicked right to that moving average 75, that battleground zone. All right, I'm done.
All right, I think just one more for me. I'm going to do AMD, and with that said,
Yeah, yeah.
AMD, we can see that it's getting back towards this blue level, right? So something that I didn't know was going to do it, and it wasn't guaranteed because it already did backtest it back in October of 2023, and it was a previous resistance breakout backtest. So there is a potential to still go back down there, and if you go to the monthly cloud too, it's right down there as well. So this one is looking actually fine for a monthly support, very, very close to current price. So I think that's like 98, 97, 96, 95, like that zone. And while the other semis look not that great, AMD actually looks perfect setup for a possible continuation in the months ahead. And these are monthly candles, so it's not going to be an immediate recovery, but it's like going to be a bottoming process before I think going higher. So AMD finally is at that support zone that's very attractive, almost, right? Almost there. And within the months to come, I think it'll be more and more bullish.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for your time this morning. It's great to. No. I'm just saying goodbye. It was nice to hang out with you today.
Yeah. Same Matt time, same Matt channel tomorrow.
Yep, we'll be back tomorrow, and also the I don't know. We'll talk with Kat, but I think we might do the triumvirate tomorrow night as well.
Sounds wonderful. Yeah. All right. Cool. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
All right. Good luck out there, everybody. The pre-market's looking pretty green across the board. It looks like the recovery might be starting this week.
And Trump has some big news, I guess, later on about some investment stuff. So who knows?
Oh, interesting.